Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
Today we're going to talk about Succession Season 4, Episode 7.
Spoilers.
Ahead, you have been warned.
Mm-hmm. Please come back after you watch them.
Won-Jin, let me go first.
Okay.
You know, this episode was one of the structurally, best for me. In terms of... It was almost a game from the start. You know what it is? You know what game was being played? The show was showing us which Roy has the worst personal relationship. And then, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to brag a little. As soon as Kendall treated his ex-wife like a piece of shit, I knew he was going to go for the CEO throne. And then as the show progressed, I knew that Roman and Shiv are weaker contenders because they give a fuck about their relationship. And then when I saw Connor, I was like, you may not become CEO of Waystar Royco, but you are going to be happy, man. So I thought it was a great spectrum show. So the question, for me, it was like Kendall being the most Logan Roy out of the children.
Good point.
That's true. I got to be honest, his treatment of his ex-wife was so unfair. I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was basically her reactions. Where the fuck were you?
Yeah, and you know what that is?
You blame me?
Kendall is like Logan Roy in the fact that his true love is the company. He doesn't give a fuck about personal relationships. So I knew Roman lost as soon as he tucked his tail between his legs and tried to talk to Gerri, which I think you would agree. We knew Gerri wasn't. She was too insulted to take that. I felt like he crossed the line a little in the last one because Gerri can take all kinds of insults, but one thing I think she can't take an insult.
Bad at your job.
Exactly.
She was offended. You could tell from the way she said it. I am good at my job.
Because I'm glad you brought that up. In season 3, you can tell that she cares about her job more than anything. Remember, she handles insults like a pro.
Yeah.
She gives zero fucks about Logan Roy treating whatever the fuck. But one thing she is proud of is her job. Remember season 3, she took photos of her being interim CEO. But Roman just didn't get it. Didn't understand that she was a businesswoman by heart. Now Shiv, that one was heartbreaking.
Yeah, that was devastating.
Yeah, it was especially devastating because because last episode we kind of felt like
we saw this glimpse of hope that maybe things will work, patch up and work out between the two. But no, it just went straight down the drain.
Yeah, and the dialogue on that was brilliant because I think a lot of people, depending on their perspective, will side with Tom or Shiv. But that dialogue, I could honestly see it from both perspectives. And they did such a good mixture of truth and falsehood. Because when Shiv said, "You're just here for my DNA," my God, I felt sorry for her. And there's some truth in that too, because Tom is him giving the scorpion thing. I was like, what's that thing? Calling the Bacta slimy, whatever the fucking that Star Wars shit. The frying pan calling the pan dirty black. But at the same time, I felt like they were perfect for each other. Hey, you guys admitted this already. What's the problem? But their problem is they just can't divorce their business, their ambition and feelings. I think Kendall is doing that really well.
Yeah.
This episode could be almost called Rise of Kendall.
And I think it's because he got a jump start on this because he was lucky. Well, I wouldn't
lucky.
For the lack of a better word, he's lucky that he shed all the weight before all this happened.
Yeah.
But Tom and Shiv, they're all still tangled up in the middle of all this.
Let me translate what Won-Jin is saying for our subscribers. Basically, he's saying Logan fucked him so hard, his humanity is just gone. He was listen, he's 40 years old, I think, according to the show, or early 40s. He was a junkie. He almost killed himself.
He got away with
accident.
Yeah, accident.
Like, it could be involuntary manslaughter, depending on, like, whatever. Like, he's so divested of his human self that he's just like a killer. Like, he has no human feelings.
There's nothing left but his Logan Roy.
Yeah. And I felt, remember in season 2, you can't even hug your kids. Roman made fun of Kendall. Like, his kids are even non-existent to him. Like, you know, I mean, I would almost say, like, Kendall is worse than Logan, because Logan at least pretended that he loved he gave a fuck about his children.
Yeah, well, we were not exactly sure if he pretended or actually, like, he was genuine, like, when he says it.
Maybe he did.
But when we see Kendall, like you said, it's even worse. Because he's not even there. He's just hearing the news from his ex-wife.
Oh, and another thing, I hate to say I told you so, but I knew Luke was weaker than Logan. Like, I think we didn't. Okay.
Oh, you mean Lukas?
Yeah, Lukas. I mean, we didn't predict it exactly, but I felt like he wasn't Logan Roy. But at the same time, it kind of explains why he was in such a rush to make the deal happen, just like Logan did with Pierce.
Yeah.
So it I guess.
And now the Roys figured out why.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the help of, what's her name, Ebba?
Yeah. She's the weak link. But I don't know though. Like there's two big things. Like, question for us going forward is the election and the deal. But I think the election will surprise all of us.
Yeah. And remember last episode we were wondering what event the next episode is going to revolve around, and again we see like what's it called, Tailgate Party. Yeah, so the whole episode revolves around this. And things. I also like the devices put in place to cause all this tension among different characters. For example, the invitation to Nate, Shiv's ex-lover, that causes a lot of tension, especially around Tom, and like people going around like talking about Tom's future isn't really helping.
Yeah, Lukas said a lot of bullshit, but one thing he did say was, I thought they would be more like difficult, but it's all gossip and money, and he's right on the money there. But and I will say this though, I think Shiv is gonna beat Lukas, because she's like, Lukas is like in a way a stand-in for Logan, but she reads it quickly now. She knows like that it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because Lukas is like, he said something along the line of my number one girl or something. It's like something Logan said similarly, you know?
And what I'm concerned about is that Shiv now realizes that betting on Lukas was a bad decision. And I now wonder how, what kind of maneuver she will make to turn this around. And since she said it herself, she betrayed her family for this. So will this eventually be known to the other Roys?
Of course they're going to find out.
Yeah, and if so, what's going to happen to her, and what is she going to prepare to make up for this?
You know, here's the thing though. Listen, Shiv has Tom, Roman has Gerri, and Kendall has Frank. Who is the only one that I'm just assuming here, got close to getting support from the lieutenant? Shiv just lost a huge lieutenant in Tom. Yeah, she's your husband, but he was also your perfect underling.
Yeah.
Same for Roman, because Gerri says something like this: I could have took you there.
Yeah, I could have taken you there.
I could have made you CEO. But here, see, I think we predicted this too. I knew Kendall was going to reach out to Frank again. They have this bond. And hey, look, like all the old guards, they're all conniving and manipulating, okay? But Frank at least has been consistently loyal to Kendall.
Yeah.
Remember, he was part of the rebellion. And then,
in the last minute,
Yeah, but like, he's at least better than Carl.
Yeah.
You know, Carl is but you know, I think Carl is basically like a McDonald's set with Frank. So and Greg, I think he's already he's really fast on this. He's Team Kendall a little. So out of all the siblings, Kendall is the only one who's actually rallying the troops.
Yeah.
And he says something really poignant. I need ballast. I need backup. I need
ballast.
I need ballast.
One head, one crown.
Yeah. And I feel like Kendall is the closest now. Of course, like having watched 4th season, we know this can change really quickly. But anyway, yeah.
And I think of all the lieutenants, those two have the strongest bond, I gotta say. And we mentioned this many times, but Frank truly, I think he's the one among, like, even compared to his siblings, he's the one who really understands Kendall and what he's been through and what he's thinking. And I'm guessing now Kendall has the upper hand against his siblings. And I especially love the scene with Roman and Gerri, because after that breakdown, you can clearly see that Roman is trying to deal with the breakout and the fallout with Gerri, and he's lashing out on Connor. And just like what he did to Lukas when he was frustrated about, and also he was building up that that anger of what he did during the funeral. He's basically kind of throwing like a tantrum. It also again shows that he's showing a lot of vulnerabilities here.
It's different from the last episode because, like, remember when Roman thought he was gonna be the favorite boy, but Logan says "fuck off." Ken is back. He punches Greg in the shoulder, and every time Roman doesn't get his way, he starts insulting people around him. And Shiv kind of does that too. But I felt like Kendall showed true leadership because remember, even the last episode when Carl insulted him, Kendall smiled.
Whoa.
Take it easy.
No, cool down.
Yeah, and he smiled. And
CFO, CEO.
And remember, he was the one that used his father's death to gain Husseini's support for the CEO-ship. Like, that reminds us a lot of Logan, because Logan uses emotion for a goal. But you just brought up a weakness of Roman and Shiv because they're using emotions for no gains.
Yeah.
Except to, undermine their own position, basically. Like, insult people that...
Yeah, and create enemies.
You might not want to insult.
And I also, again, love the way Connor handled it. He's basically treating him like his baby brother. He just brushes it off.
Yeah, that was...
And, like, even when he says hurtful things, like, everybody thinks you're a joke. And then I loved his answer. It's like, at least one person doesn't think I'm a joke. Yeah. And that also contrasts with Tom and Shiv. It's like Willa and Connor are like the happiest couple there.
Yeah. We're getting that marriage vibe. Remember, they were honest. And, Connor showed... you call it class, but I call it self-awareness. And, Roman insulting him like that. But look at the scene here. He's the one shouting. He's the one, you call it tantrum, right? In front of all these people, insulting his own brother. It's just... I'm glad that Connor has some truth in him, though. Like, the truth will set you free. Like, Logan Roy have taught them to lie all the time so much.
Yeah.
That, truth is even refreshing to us as the audience. But I love Connor's honesty. And I felt like Kendall was using honesty really well, too, as a weapon. Because Logan is smart in the fact that he never outright lies. He speaks the truth when it's convenient for him. Remember, just to Roman, I need you. I need a fire breather. And, he times that well. And I thought Kendall did it well because... remember what Kendall said about Frank? He's greedy. He's avaricious. Frank is an ambitious guy. So what's his pitch? Bigger than Dad ever was. And you will be a part of it. At least vice chairman, by the way. At least. Not only will Frank be a board member, which he is right now, he is going to be like a C level. So... that was, I thought, a great pitch. And it goes to show that Kendall is still the one with the imagination, though. Like, I think...
Good point.
The sad thing about Shiv and Rome is I almost feel like they won't know what to do even if they become CEO.
That's true. And because right now the struggle is to get that position. But like you say, we can see from what we've seen so far that they would probably have no vision for what's next.
Yeah.
but we continuously see what Kendall's up to, and we can see that at least, well, I'm not exactly sure if he's like the greatest ever, but at least compared to his siblings, he does have a vision for the future of the company.
Yeah. I mean, and I think, and his line is really scary too. I love them, but I'm not in love with them. You know, that's something like, I think if Logan was honest, that's what he would say too. I love my children, but as long as they serve me and my company, without that, you're nothing. And
and we got to also talk about the confrontation between Lukas and Kendall.
Oh, badass.
Yeah, some like sword, like
passive aggressiveness.
Verbal sword fight right there. Using a lot of verbal irony.
Your numbers actually unbelievable. Like so many subtle fuck yous. You know, but I felt like I'm gonna go on a limb and say this. I think a lot of people, because we as an audience have also been sold to Logan as a great man, but we see him falter all the time too. But here, I felt like Kendall showed something of his father, like even smarter, because he could have exploded, you know, but he chose not to.
Yeah, and they just hug it out. Even that was a fuck you.
Yeah, that was a fuck you to the fullest. But Kendall doesn't break, and you know, I think longtime fans of the show, we will be surprised. I mean, but here's the thing, though. I have a question for you, Won-Jin. We got 3 episodes left. Do you think Kendall will break? That's the big question, isn't it?
I mean, I would. If Logan was still alive, then I would probably predict that, like at some point, some event would break him down. But since he's gone, I see that less likely.
And you know what I think Tom's gonna do? I think Tom's gonna go to Kendall. And I think Kendall will accept Tom because one thing Kendall, learned from his father is the more piece of shit my employee is, the better. Like, you know, see how, like, in a way, these like lieutenants are assets to have. I mean, Carl is already sucking his dick. Frank is your godfather, and you know what makes me sad a little? Shiv not manipulating Gerri more. She is your godmother.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
why aren't you using that card?
I think, well, based on what we've seen so far, maybe it's just that she has too much on her plate right now with the pregnancy and the thing with Tom and thing with Lukas.
You know, if Shiv and Roman were any smarter, they would actually approach Kendall and say, let's kick out one of our rivals, i.e. one of the Roys, and then I'll be your subordinate. Because, like, 2 is better than 3. But I feel like they're too caught up on their own personal problems that no one really cares about.
Yeah.
But Kendall is the one with the big picture. So we'll see.
And I especially enjoyed the part where Greg fires all the overseas employees.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, Greg, he's come a long way, and based on what he was able to do, I can tell that there is definitely a spot for him in the future of Waystar Royco.
Oh, yeah. He's basically Tom 2.0. Hell yeah. With a little bit more sycophancy.
Yeah, and I'm kind of disappointed at Tom, like the way he was being really petty. After that fight with Shiv, he's like kicking the guests out.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that was petty.
Really? I felt his pain, though.
Yeah, I mean, I did, but especially after what Connor did, that kind of contrasted, and it seemed very petty. Because remember, Connor, after all that, like taking all that insult, he still managed to say like a polite goodbye to Lukas, and then he just made his exit very gracefully.
No, but I think Tom felt like the whole room was against them because since Nate and Shiv had that conversation with Luke, and they had the conversation, they all think Tom is a goner.
And we know that, yes, he's feeling a lot of insecurity here, but letting it show in front of all the guests, I just thought that was a petty thing to do.
Well, he's not a Roy, so his position is not as secure as, you know, because Connor can be dumb all he wants, but he's still a Roy. So, you know, no, but I don't know, but we'll see though. Tom, listen, here's the thing. Season 3 taught us to never underestimate Tom.
Mm.
Tom is someone like, see, I think the show is intentionally showing us this situation, right? There's always a win-win, lose-lose. But we've seen the show enough to know that this can change in a bit.
Yeah.
Remember, Roman lost favor from his father just from a dick pic. As soon as that happened, he was out of the good
Romulus, get in here!
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we know that each episode can change all of this.
Yeah.
Hey, but here's another thing, though. I think Logan wouldn't have given a fuck who the president becomes. So I think Kendall will be strong, whether it's Jimenez or Mickinson or whatever the fuck that is.
Mencken.
Yeah. So like for now, we're seeing King Kendall grabbing the throne with both hands and succeeding.
And I love that Connor now has like political leverage with this like few percent of voters.
Yeah, you know what though? Connor went a long way from season 1. He's actually using his leverages now, even better than his siblings. And you know, Kendall, like, because Logan had the charisma to control people by force, but Kendall and Connor are the only two people that are not using that because they don't have that legitimacy yet. But when they can't control another person, they don't lose their cool. So that's a big thing. But
and
anyway,
we know that Kendall is capable of doing it. He just doesn't have the power, like you said, the legitimacy yet.
Yeah.
But we saw what he did to Hugo, so that's a big hint of what he's capable of.
Yeah, and like any good leader, he's gonna forgive them all. Because Logan, if you think about it, he insults you a little bit. He's like, "Hey Frank, where's Frank? Hey, bring him back."
This is dumbass.
Yeah, I can abuse him, but no one else can. His weird, sick loyalty. You know, because the funny thing is, remember what Kendall said in season 2? He had a distorted sense of loyalty to bad actors. I'm like, you are doing that too. You have a loyalty to your sycophant fucking conniving snakes. You know what would be crazy though? If Frank can rally, I mean, Carl is going to come with Frank, but if they can even rally Gerri, because Frank is good at gauging the board, right? So Kendall is the actual one. Because remember, CEO appointment can happen. They can have an emergency board meeting and fire Roman. If necessary. So I don't know. Kendall is winning over the Praetorian Guard, so to speak. But anyway, let's give a number grade.
I would give this episode a 9.
Oh, solid 9.
Yeah, solid 9. That was a good episode.
I agree. I mean, this season, let me tell you something. Better than season 3.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like, so far.
Like for me, season 1 was, oh shit. Season 2, peak. Yeah. Season 3 was, oh, is this COVID related? And then season 4 is like, fuck yeah.
And even after Logan's death, I mean, not carrying over Logan and making it this intriguing, I mean, good job.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our take on episode 7. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like our stuff, please press like and subscribe, and we'll be back in 5 minutes
to talk about
Barry, season 4 of Barry. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.
We'll be right back.
He's Won-Jin and I'm Joe.